Throughout the last 10 years of my practice, Smart Start of New Hanover County has been a partner in helping me with my families. So they do that by first amplifying the importance of the first 2,000 days. A child will go from virtually just laying there to being able to talk and cooperatively play in those first 2,000 days of life. You bring your infant home and they just lay there. All they do is cry and feed. Within 6 months, they're able to sit independently, smile, and they know that you are their parent and that other person does not belong to them. By the time they're 1, they're walking, maybe saying mama, dada, specifically, waving bye-bye. At 2, they're not walking anymore, they're running. At 3, they're really able to start talking and interacting cooperatively with friends. By 4, if you look at your average board game for kids, they can play a board game. They can play Candyland. And 5-year-olds are ready to go to kindergarten, and they are going to understand rules. They're going to understand friendships. They're going to understand games. They're going to learn their alphabet. They're going to begin to start those reading fundamentals. All of this says parenting is important. This is a big deal. Folks need help with this. This isn't something that always comes naturally. And having Smart Start here just really speaks to that.
Smart Start is an early childhood initiative. Our job is to help make sure that a child from the time that they're conceived, prenatal, to the time that they enter kindergarten, that they have the supports that they need, but more importantly, that their caregivers are cared for, whether it's the parents, early educators, and the community as a whole. Anybody that touches the life of a young child, that they have the education, the information, the supports that they need to make sure that that child is ready to flourish when they enter school, ready to be successful, not just in school, but for the rest of their lives. If we're doing our job well at Smart Start, we are connecting family to resources, we're connecting ourselves to community resources, we're providing supports in the child care center classrooms, we're providing education, we're going into families' homes and home visiting programs, and all of the kinds of things that are needed to have a system that's going to raise amazing children.
Smart Start is like the hub. You know, families have the resource room that they can use. They can talk with staff members about resources. Us as teachers, we can come here and gather resources as well and ask questions about strategies and implementations in the classroom. And even on the personal end, even our educational goals. So Smart Start has really covered the gamut of what it's like being a teaching professional, working with young children. The personal side, the professional side, the community. We want our families to know definitely that Smart Start is the hub of our community.
There's this sort of perspective on early ed that we are babysitters, or that, our role in the classroom is just to sort of keep children alive and safe for 8 to 10 hours a day. And I think that as the profession tries hard to get outside people to understand how fundamental what we do is, Smart Start is providing us with the education to really back that up. I didn't have a lot of those skills that you would need to be an early ed teacher. I was teaching infants and toddlers when the youngest class that I'd ever taught before then was kindergartners. So Smart Start was coming into the classroom and literally teaching me how to be a teacher. One of the things that Smart Start does for my school in particular is they help us a lot with classroom arrangement and with students who are having trouble assimilating to a classroom environment. Smart Start was coming into my classrooms on a weekly basis sometimes, and they set up all kinds of different things for us that we didn't know about. So coming in and saying, this is a racetrack. That's why these kids are doing this. We need to break this up so that, kids are staying in their centers and not just, running and throwing. And let's make a space for them to calm down. So they've brought in beanbags and little tents and things where it's just a place where a child can go and just take 5. One of the things we worked really hard on in that first year was early literacy and that engagement with print language, that association of books with warmth and comfort and something that children want to do. If you can read, you can teach yourself almost anything. And we spend a lot of time talking about how to manage our feelings. Lots of times our Smart Start representative is giving the teacher more language to talk with the children about that.
He's sad sometimes when she's sad or frustrated. What do we do when we're frustrated?
She's trying to take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. Can everybody show me how? Smell the flowers. Blow out the candles. Can you do it again? Smell the flowers. Blow out the candles.
I think it's really easy, especially with infants and toddlers, to think, because they can't talk back to me, they don't know what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna talk to my partner in the classroom, and we'll take care of them and change their diapers and feed them, but no one's really interacting with them. One of the things that Smart Start is doing with us right now is a program called Lena, and it is like a talk pedometer. It helps my teachers find the spots in their day where maybe they aren't having as many back and forth conversations as they could be having with their students to really reinforce that early language and connection between teachers and students. Starting with infants was so great because it gave a real measurable idea to these teachers. This is how much you're actually speaking to these students during the day, and here's how much we want to be speaking to them. And I didn't even know that this program existed. Like, Smart Start literally showed up on my doorstep and was like, here's this thing we're doing, would you like to participate? Of course I want to participate. Why wouldn't I want my teachers to be better teachers? And I think it's things like that where they keep coming up with new resources and then offering them. So not only am I looking to them, but they're looking back as, they're trying to improve the environment for early childhood as well. I hope that reciprocal relationship continues forever. So for me, one of the most impactful things was when a parent of a very young child would come to the center and they were scared. It was their first time coming to care, and their children are crying and screaming, and it's so hard to walk away. But the first time that a parent walks in who's been having this struggle, mom's crying at drop off, kid is crying at drop off, it's hard for everybody. The first time that child reaches for me, and the mom just looks so relieved, like, oh, it is okay. Like, he wants to go to her. That is the most powerful moment that I have ever gotten to experience as a teacher. Just feeling like, for this moment, this parent knows that their child is safe and that they can go to work. And it's Smart Start that gives me the tools to make that happen so that those kids can feel safe, and so that what I'm offering is exciting enough for a parent to be able to walk away and know that their child is in good hands. Parents should never feel like they have to be alone with child rearing. There's a whole community out here, ready to partner with them and support.
I feel a lot of relief knowing that I have people to talk to, because you just feel like sometimes you feel like you're alone in a situation, and you find out that there's other people in the same situation as you, and it's just like a support system. It's a great place. I feel like there's a lot of resources. My daughter loves it. She's 2.5, so I bring her here as just to play and meet other children and different activities. In New York, there was nothing like this place here, and I actually tell everybody about this place, and everybody yells at me. They say, stop telling everybody, and I'm like, no, I really need to tell everybody. I don't think enough people know the resources that Smart Start offers, and it makes me sad because it's so incredible here. So it's nice to have this and to find out there's resources and support groups.
I started with Smart Start when my kids were little, and I found out they were autistic. They have a program called Circle of Parents where I actually got to meet other parents who were in my same situation. And it was nice to know that I wasn't the only one in that group, and then that other people had the same problems, and to hear what they tried and what worked and what didn't work. For a while, I didn't have anybody to go to. So just having somebody there to listen was one of the biggest things. And then not only did they listen, but they went, oh, well, there's this program, or have you tried this? It's like a whole new window has opened, and I'm not struggling to, what does my kid want? They can go point on the wall. Okay, this is what you want, and it's not an hour of screaming. And it's just made things so much easier, and we can have fun. I know how to have fun with them, whereas before, I didn't know what they needed or wanted. Having such a versatile set of programs, that's what makes Smart Start what it is. They can meet the needs of the parents where they need them.
It has been so exciting and so scary to have a 3-year-old. So Smart Start helped me by introducing me to a bunch of avenues that I did not realize were available. As a mom working full-time, to try to research these things on my own. There's only so much time you get on a lunch break. And Smart Start was always in the background working for me while I was having to work. Sometimes, a couple times a day, just getting new information and places we could go or things to call and do to help. I mean, it was tremendous.
How would you describe the feeling that it is to know that you have that support system, especially as you are a first-time parent?
Having the support from Smart Start, who really I never knew was there, but to know that I had a village whom I didn't know very well, but were not only there for me, but advocating for my child was amazing.
Parenting a child is not a solo performance. It's not even a duet. It's really about having a village that can help you raise your child.
It's okay to ask for help because really, there's no guidebook, there's no how-to.
There are resources. You might have to look a little bit. If you find Smart Start, you don't have to look that hard.
Don't wait. Just go for it and reach out and accept help.
Smart Start really helps to develop good human beings.